YouTube and Baseball Cardman 92. This is dual grade FBE coming back at you with my second video with this channel relaunch. So it's been kind of a tough week, busy week, and it's been a tough weekend. But I thought I could use some of the free time I have to go over my recent Cooperstown binder. So earlier in the year, I don't even know why I said that, a few months ago, Baseball Card Man 92 / MF Cards and I went to Cooperstown, part 2. It's a sort of vacation we're going to try to do once a year. And we actually spent a week, whereas the first time we spent, I think, only a handful of days. So we spent a week, definitely got burnt out towards the end with all these cards. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of great conversations. And I want to show this binder before I start reorganizing my collection. So yeah, let's get into it. So starting off with one of my favorite purchases, I will keep this forever. Zach Duke is my favorite baseball player because my name is Zach and one of my clients is Duke Energy. So another thing about Zach Duke is I pulled his rookie card back in, I think it was 2005, 2006, so it's 2004 Topps base card. And it was the first Zach player I had ever seen. So as an adult now, I think it's just such a cool and niche PC. Don't really know much about him besides that. But my main goal in Cooperstown was to find a Zach Duke card. And Matt's, one of his grails was, I believe, a Mookie Betts rookie card, which he did find towards the end. But he and I both looked and looked. We probably looked at 20,000, 30,000 cards, all D's baseball cards, and couldn't find any Zach Duke. Well, one of the stores we went to that we had been at before, I forget what the store was called, but they had all these autographed photos, and I was flipping through them, and I found 2 Zach Dukes. I found one where he looks kind of like an idiot, and I found this one, which I just think looks beautiful, and I think it was $10 or $20, something like that. And what's crazy is that was at the same store last year because this photo was gathering dust. So if I flip it over, I kept the tag on there. 7th inning stretch. Pretty good store. Not the best prices, but a cool selection of cards and great vintage cards, just insane prices. So I organized this meticulously in Cooperstown, whereas I organized my Moments 1 / Cooperstown 2024 when we got back from vacation. So this was organized in real time. I spent the last few nights while we were there organizing. I just really had a blast. So I may change up this binder, I may not. But I want to make this video just so I can look back on it. So Matt, I hope you enjoy this. So starting off, Shay something or other, Reg something or other, Reg she needs, this could be his nephew. When Matt and I were going through this one baseball card shop, there's a guy that came in, and as he was talking about this player, I came across this card. So I thought it was so cool. This right here, I was blown away that Matt still had this in one of his childhood binders. This was actually a custom, quote-unquote, custom baseball card that my dad made me when I first started getting into collecting because I was so interested in Hall of Famers. And quite frankly, I didn't even remember this until I saw it in Matt's binder. He gave it to me for free, didn't even have to trade for it. So one of my favorite cards in my collection by far. The most I spent on a card in Cooperstown was $20, and it was this one right here, this Mickey Mantle. I think it's 2009, 2010, 2011. Topps factory set gold refractor based on his second year card, I believe, maybe 1952 or 53 Topps. Yeah, I probably should know that. But when I was a kid, there was an LCS near me growing up in Connecticut, and I remember they had the actual version of this, and I was just blown away, and I always thought it was one of the coolest looking baseball cards that I'd ever seen. So to get this gold is just really beautiful. Mark Fidrich, rookie card, 1976 Topps, I believe. Got this for $1. Funnily enough, last year in Cooperstown at a different store, I got this same card for $1. These usually go for around $5. Now this one, my phone might not pick it up, but pretty beat up. But one of my absolute favorite cards of all time because he's one of my favorite players of all time. Just seemed like a very genuine person and a very odd person. So Javier Vasquez, 2002 or 2003 Fleer. Again, this was a card that my grandpa, who passed away several years ago, gave me. It was one of the first few cards I ever got as a as a kindergartner, really before I started really getting into baseball cards, and probably around the time that Matt was starting to get into baseball cards too. We got around to collecting and bonding over that at the same time. So this was in Matt's childhood binder, might have been in the same one, and I couldn't believe that this card was there. It's just an amazing card, and it means so much to me. And I moved several years ago to Northern California, but I was living in Southern California at the time. And prior to my move, I literally sold 99% of my collection on Facebook. I had a huge, base lot, and then I sold my higher end cards thinking, I'm never going to get back into collecting. Those days are behind me. And there was a JD Drew and Mike Mussina from the set that my grandpa also gave me. Well, I sold them on Facebook. So I thought I sold this too, and to just know Matt had it all these years later is just incredible. So one of my most cherished cards in my collections for sure. Moving on, Riley Green. Funny story with this. Matt and I went to Sports Cards, and at the end they're like, "Sir, you're totaling to $100." And I was only getting base cards, and I was being very selective and picky because all the cards I wanted to get were going to go into this binder. Turns out he accidentally grabbed like a stack of 20 or 30 Riley Green cards, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't get those." So he goes, "Oh, sorry about that." So I just thought it was funny. I started, really in Cooperstown, I have a small Riley Green PC. So I got this at another card shop, just a beautiful card. I think Matt has a even better looking card from the set, but Goose Gossage, I think that one's numbered, but I don't know, I really like that. It's AC. Reese Hoskins, so sorry for the glare, but it is what it is. I hope you can see this. This Reese Hoskins is awesome. His paper version is one of my favorite cards in my collection. So I'm born on March 17th. He's born on March 17th. And I think his jersey number on the Phillies was 17. So that's really cool. It's this pink refractor. Khalil Green, 2005 Fleer Tradition. For personal reasons, I PC him. Had a few of his cards growing up, but as an adult, like I said, for personal reasons, I PC him. And accidentally, when I went to go open up this pack, it was like taped. And I actually cut into it with a knife, so there is a mark somewhere on here. But all right, this one right here, this is, I believe, a 19th century tobacco card from Duke & Sons. And again, one of my clients is Duke Energy. I love the work that I do every single day. It's don't get paid enough, but the work happiness is definitely there. So I think of Duke Energy whenever I look at this card. And I don't know much about it, but I do believe it's either early 20th century or late 19th century. I just think that's very cool. Okay, this one may be a long one, but I'm having fun. So, and Matt, I know you don't mind the long videos, so, or anyone else that watches this, maybe YouTube will recommend it to people that used to subscribe to us back in 2008, 2009. But David Wells, so I think he was drunk when he got this. What was it, a no-hitter or perfect game, something like that. I just think that's really funny. Nap Lajoie. This is the Conlon collection. When I was a kid, I thought these purple, not refractors, but purple variations were so cool and really rare. So I got this for $1. I remember, I think I had this card growing up, and I think it's really cool that it's in case. This came out one of the first few, 2008, Allen and Ginter. I remember in 2006 when they came back, and I vaguely remember seeing this in like a Beckett and thinking it was so cool. Another Reese Hoskins. I think it's green border, greenish, which I think is cool. Ezekiel, oh wow, this is just, the glare is terrible, but if I don't have the lights on, you can't really see these cards. I guess it's a lose-lose, but I was gonna say Ezekiel, I don't even know how to say it. Rubiel Durazo. This is out of 100. I got this for $1 at Sports Cards, and I just think that's really cool, getting early 2000s rare inserts for very cheap. Don't really know anything about them, but it's just a beautiful card. And I had a few of these gold labels as a kid. I had a Nomar Garcia Parra. Actually, that might have been the only one, and I just thought it was one of the coolest cards I ever saw. So, and then we got this Fractals. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I just think that's just a really beautiful card. Reese Hoskins, Trey Linscomb. So Matt, I think you traded this to me. This is, to me, just looks like one of the most like visually striking cards. So I collect Yu-Gi-Oh and other TCGs, and this just kind of gives me that vibe for a reason. I don't know if it's the the backdrop or what, but I really like these black refractors from Heritage. Same with this Hugh Darvish. So Matt, you traded that to me too. Really like that card. I appreciate it. Okay, all of these cards are minus the Dallas Braden and the Reed Detmers, excuse me, are from the very first card shop that Matt and I went to together in Cooperstown this time. So I had a really long flight, really tired, and I was like, hey man, you know, you might be tired, might be hungry, but you want to hit up a card shop? I said, you know what, why the hell not? And we just had a blast. That was an excellent card shop. So these were all these were bought there except for the 2 autos and for this Shea Hildebrand right here, which Matt gave to me to help out my 2004 Red Sox PC. So I'm not going to go over every single one. For some reason, this Andrew Miller 2007 Topps just spoke to me when I saw it. I had the Topps Chrome as a kid, and for several months, for whatever reason, I wanted the normal variation of this, but to get the Topps opening day was really cool for $1. Then I got this randomly at the end when I was at the cash register, when I almost forgot my card, or, you know, Matt will tell you the story if I forgot it or not. I don't even know who this is. This just looks elegant. Like, I think it looks beautiful. Dallas Braden auto. You know, I think he has an interesting story. One of the games he threw was really cool. So really like that. Johnny Vandermeer, so I like his name is like the Phantom or you know, the Flying Dutchman, or I'm probably mixing that up, but I thought it was like the Phantom or something like that. So I believe this is his rookie card or his second year card at the very least. And at one point early this year, I wanted to get every single one of his playing day cards. That's a very loose, low level PC that I may work on over time. Reed Detmers, probably butchered that name, but I just love his auto. I'm really big into signatures because my cursive is not the best, but I'm always trying to find ways to make my signature look cool and look exciting, and I just think this guy has a really cool signature. Again, the Shea Hildebrand, Matt, thank you very much. This is one of my favorite cards, and this was, I think, the first card you just gave to me, so I really appreciate that. And then for some reason, I really like this Scott Proctor and this Bubba Starling. I got these both for 25 cents. I have no idea why I like them so much, but when I saw them, I immediately thought, yep, they're going to go into the Moments binder. So that's why they're here. Sometimes cards just, you know, speak to me, even if it's of people I don't know. Garrett Atkins. So Matt, this is really for you. I found this at one of the last card shops we were in. I just thought that was so cool because I know you had a kind of a random and haphazard Garrett Atkins PC, but you have an amazing PC. So to get his All-Star rookie, and I just think that's cool. And then these two, I was so excited. So I was watching all of your videos, you know, obsessively before Cooperstown, you know, trying to get familiar with how we used to collect, and I couldn't remember. You randomly said that UPCV, this guy and this guy, and it turned out it was Matt Latos, looking kind of sus there, and Matt Gamble. So I pulled this in a mystery pack. I thought that was so cool, and I got this at the same store that I got this Garrett Atkins at. So really cool. Davis Schneider, Matt, you should have asked for $5 when you traded this to me. I just think this guy looks cool, and for some reason it reminds me of Wade Meckler, probably just because of the mustache. But if you go to Pioneer, you can get them for $5. So one of the best pulls, if not your best pull, Matt, was this Prelander. I mean, what a dorky looking guy, up to all sorts of debauchery and nonsense, but I kind of want to start a PC of him. He is just awesome. So this is an amazing card. This is one of the Diamantes. Sounds kind of Spanish. Well, and this guy's Spanish too. There you go. But you gave this to me for free. Really appreciate it. Just, I think you gave this on the first or second night, so it just makes me think of, you know, how much fun we were having. Sterling Hitchcock, Josh Hancock, and Sterling Hitchcock again. We got this at the Tuna Sports Card Shop. I forget what it was called. I don't even remember, but got these 3 cards back to back. Again, like sometimes I see a card, I'm like, that fits so well in Moments. So I remember they were playing really good music at this place. We ate there, you know, Men of Routine. We ate at the same restaurant that was also owned by the sports card place basically every day that we were there. So that just makes me think of that restaurant and how many good conversations we had there. Moving on. So this guy, Scott Downs, was born March 17th. Got this for, I believe, $1 at Yaz. Riley Green, the PC, Riley Green, and Matt, you shouted out this card shop. I don't remember what it was called, but it's probably the card shop we had the most fun at. The owners just at first were a little like standoffish because maybe they thought we were resellers, but when they found out that we were actual collectors and cared about our collections. It was just great. It's owned by a couple, husband and wife, and I believe they own 2 sports card shops that we went to. But yeah, so he bundled these all up for me. Another Riley Green, Kiki Hernandez. So I really want to get him on the Dodgers. When I was at the gym about a year and a half ago, he like made some really cool play. Maybe it was like a stolen base or something like that. And ever since then, I just connect that to that time. So to get him in 2023 or 2023 Topps Pristine in the Red Sox is really cool. Nolan Gorman. Matt, I think you traded me this. I forget why I like this card so much. So may have to be removed from the PC. It could be that I have the one Topps Black and Gold card that I ever pulled was of him, and I just thought it was cool. So full circle moment. Riley Green. That's a sick Riley Green. And then Kurt Manwaring. I gotta see where this guy was born. There's a reason why I PC him. He was born in Elmira, New York, which is where my dad was born. So, makes you think of him. Okay, so majority of these cards I pulled myself, except for this Riley Green right here. So on one of the last days, I bought a few packs of 1987 Topps. And I actually pulled this Roger Clemens, which is one of my favorite cards growing up. I remember it's probably my favorite Roger Clemens card. But unfortunately, I sold it in a Facebook lot in San Diego. So I don't have my original, but to know that I pulled this myself just makes it that much cooler. Same with those cards on top. I distinctly remember this Glenn Hubbard, and Wally Backman, I like that he kind of had an attitude, and I can appreciate that, as Matt says. Glenn Hubbard had that as a kid, and then Willie Randolph. For some reason, I like to PC him. Well, not for some reason, I PC him in the Yankees uniform because I believe the 1988 Topps or 1989, one of those two, was one of the first cards I got from my grandpa, so I distinctly remember that. Another Riley Green. And then I busted a pack of Donruss or, something like that. And I was really trying to get a Mickey Mantle. I've been trying to get, anytime I open up a Donruss pack, I'm trying to get a Mickey Mantle card. And I didn't get it, but I got this Mickey Cochran, and I used to have, he's in one of my nostalgic binders that I'm currently reorganizing, but I think it was like a Ted Williams production or Ted Williams company card with the exact same photos. I think that's really cool. Nolan Ryan pulled it from the same pack. All right, so this one's definitely going to be a longer video, but I mean, I'm enjoying this, much more than I was enjoying the Moments one. Jim Abbott, one of my favorite baseball players, really like his story. Another Jim Abbott. Hideo Nomo, got this for $1. I believe this is one of his rookie cards, so that's really cool. Steve Lombardozzi. Let's see. Sometimes I get that. Kurt Manwaring and him mixed up. Yeah, so, okay. Steve Lombardozzi, so my late grandpa, or my late maternal grandpa, he was born in Malden, Massachusetts. So I try to collect any player born in Malden, Massachusetts. I think that's just a good way to remember my grandpa, who really was the first person to give me baseball cards. Then it was my dad, Matt. So really like that card. Sean Markham, 2005, 2006, one of those years on Christmas, my dad got me for, say the same thing over again. For Christmas, my dad got me a Sean Markham and Xavier Nady buyback autos. And because of that, Sean Markham and Xavier Nady are two of my minor PC players. And this was the only Sean Markham I came across in Coops. So I think I got this at Pioneer Sports Cards, i.e. Stinkies. Roberto Kelly, so again, connecting it back to my grandpa. One of the first cards I ever got from my grandpa that I can remember, I believe, was a 1990 Topps Roberto Kelly. So I'm loosely trying to PC every single card of him on the Yankees. That's specifically on the Yankees. So this is a Topps, this is his rookie card, but it's the glossy edition. So the Topps Tiffany, I believe. I think that's really cool. I loosely PC Murakami, possibly. I believe he was the first Japanese born player in the MLB in the 60s. So I just think that's really cool. One day I want to get his rookie card, but that's not high on my list. So picked up any of his cards I could find. Matt, you got a really cool last name O card, and I've read up bits and pieces about him, so that's really cool. I think you got that at Pioneer. Frankie Rodriguez, so I had his minor league Red Sox card growing up. I'm actually going to buy that on eBay later this month. It's one of the cards I've been looking for a while. So this was the only Frank Rodriguez I came across. I think I got that at Yaz as well. All right. Murakami again. And then Kaz. I loosely PC him. I also think these guys just have cool names too. So, all right. Continuing, so this Christy Mathewson was I bought this on eBay actually last year, but I did get this. Oh, sorry, that's on this page. Let's continue on this one. Sorry, I couldn't tell. Reese Hoskins, again, he's born March 17th, jersey number is 17. I think that's so cool. Matt, you gave me this card, and I'm going to, it's not one of my top priorities, but I would eventually like to get some of the parallels from the set. So Reese Lightning, how cool is that? Jerry White, so I have a Jerry White PC because someone that I know shares the same name. Not the same person by any means, but shares the same name. So I'm trying to get very loosely, again, I have all these loose PCs, trying to get every single one of his playing day cards. And my favorite one, and the only one I got in Coops was his rookie card. I actually got that at Yaz, was super excited. Picked this one up on eBay and his 77 or 78 tops on eBay. Okay. Moving on, here it is. So already talked about the Christy Mathewson, but I did get the Walter Johnson in Coops. So I debated whether or not to put him in here, but I always think of Christy and Walter side by side because of the class of 36. And as a kid, I just was so interested in that class, and that really sparked my interest in Hall of Famers. Jimmy Purcell, probably butchered that name as well. What a cool card. He had a very interesting, personality, and I know he had some issues with mental health, so I just appreciate learning about that, and I just love this card. I think it looks beautiful. Okay, this I was super excited about. So these were all the cards from 1976 tops I was looking for. So Willie Horton, because it's a really cool name. Wayne Garland, this card specifically, I had this in my baseball card wish list notes on my phone for like the last year and a half, because he was one of the busts from back in the day. There's a guy on Reddit who PCs Jason Thompson to honor his dad. I believe his name is Jason too. So I just really appreciate that, and that post always stuck with me because it reminded me of how I collect Zach Duke. Griffin Jacks just seems like a nice guy. Rusty Staub, him and Mark Fidrich, I always think of, not interchangeably, but because Mark got injured and Rusty was right by him. And then this mini Minosa, I had this actually growing up. So Scott Kazmir, loose PC again. Going in Coops, I thought I'd just have a Scott Kazmir PC. Matt, I know you have a few of his cards that are really sick. Bill Lee, I just think he's a very interesting guy. John Franco, I actually came across his daughter on TikTok several years ago, and then I said, whoa, I never saw anyone who was related to an MLB player, so I just think that's cool finding that in the wild. So because of that, I PC him. Cole Young, so Matt, you traded me this card. I just think it's a beautiful card, and then I saw a TikTok about him getting called up to the majors, and it just seemed like a very cool moment. So this is one of my favorite cards, actually, from Coops. Another Scott Kazmir rookie, a few Brian Taylors, and then a Mark Hutton. So Brian Taylor, or Brian Taylor, however you say his name, just one of the busts from back in the day. And there was a specific card of his I was looking for, his Topps Gold Auto, it was numbered back in the day, which was at Yaz last year, but wasn't there again. So got this at the tuna sandwich place. Mark Hutton, one of my most favorite cards I've pulled recently from Mystery Pack was a Mark Hutton. So I think he's Australian or something like that. Just think that's cool. Okay, this is one of my other favorite pages. So Connor Wong, I just think he just looks like a cool guy. James something or other, I saw a TikTok of him kind of going crazy. And I don't know, I just like when pitchers go crazy. Alex Vesia, I saw a TikTok of him a few years ago. He just seemed like a very humble person, and I just respect that a lot. Mark Kanya, so he just reminds me of Josh Donaldson just because they both have very angry personalities, and so I just like that. Christian Yelich, for some reason I've always liked this guy, and I don't really know why. I just do, and this card just looks, again, it kind of reminds me of like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's just cool. Alika Williams, so I try to collect a card from any town that I've stayed in or had an apartment or house in, and so San Diego was one of them. So this guy was born in San Diego, so I just like that. Chris Kubik, so this is a rookie card, which is cool, but one of my favorite cards from my Moments binder is this random Chris Kubik card, because I think it's Chris Kubik. Actually, I don't remember at the top of my head. I got it in one of my first Reddit purchases. So Miles McCullough, saw him in a game when I was at the gym a few years ago. They were playing it. Makes you just think of that time. And he reminds me of one of the coworkers I used to have. Daniel Bard, again, one of the first few packs I bought getting back into collecting. I just distinctively remember his names. Because of that, it kind of transfers. And it's cool that it's gold, not numbered though. Okay, so moving on from that, here are a lot of the nostalgic cards that I picked up or traded with Matt. And so I was excited to find all of these. Chipper Jones, Matt, I think you have the auto version of that. Ken Griffey, this is like my main Ken Griffey card I was trying to find. I just didn't want to buy on eBay. Had that as a kid. David Ortiz, Matt, you found that one for me. Seaver, not auto, artist auto. Matt, that was yours. So, on one of my birthdays, I just have a picture. I must have been like 7 or 8. My dad got me a Brooks Robinson bat card and then this Hank Aaron card. Well, what happened in San Diego? I sold it. So to get that, and I got that Yaz for $5. I was super excited. This guy out of 50, Matt, that's one of your cards. Well, one of my cards growing up, but I think you had it now. George Brett, one of the first few cards I remember my grandpa giving me. Dizzy Dean, got that in Connecticut back in the day, so to get that again, it was really cool. Same with the LaJoy, excuse me. All right, we got some more PC cards. Derek Cheater, I remember distinctly selling that in a Facebook lot because this is one of the cards that was in the picture. And man, I just wish I didn't. Ted Williams, that's a cool one. Nolan Ryan, got that in Connecticut back in the day. And then these two Eddie Murrays. A lot of these were actually all of these on this page were from Matt, from his childhood binders. We talked a lot about Jay Payton. I just love this Joe Morgan card. I don't know why. I just think he looks cool. Oh, Marty Barrett. So this is from Matt's binder, like I just mentioned, but this is one of the cards I remember distinctly growing up. I think I gave it away. Must have in San Diego. Kevin Moss. So my girlfriend's parents' financial advisor is literally Kevin Moss. So that's really cool. Oh, this was a Cooperstown pickup, not from Matt's binder. All of these were from Matt's binder. I believe this card right here was literally mine at some point because it's in such shitty condition, but I love it nevertheless. Some more Cooperstown pickups. Ralph Kiner, one of my dogs growing up, his name was Ralph, so kind of I collect him to honor, my dogs that I've passed. Deion Sanders, that's a nice one. Sammy Sosa. Well, Dontrells, Jimmy Fox, Hannes Reiner pulled that in a mystery pack, which is cool. Again, these are just some of these three were Cooperstown buys, and the rest of the page were from Matt's binders. I think he and I traded back and forth for some of these cards back in the day, so I'm just glad to be able to find some of that, like that Matt still had some of that, because I just sold a lot of mine away. I kept some of my nostalgic and childhood cards, but very few. I mean, it was maybe like 30 cards, so. Okay, just some more nostalgia. I actually have the actual rookie card of him, so that's cool. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice as I'm talking so much, but all these baseball cards. Love this Troy O'Leary. And then this Bill Long kind of looks burnt. It's really hard to tell, but on this side it looks like burnt, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe he's like Freddy Krueger. Sick. All right. Oh, also going to 1992 Score. This was Matt's first set ever, actually. So these were these could have been some of the original cards that we got as a kid. I'm not sure because they look really beat up. Okay, moving on from nostalgic cards. Here are just some more pickups. Love that Doc Gooden was my favorite Doc Gooden Doc Gooden card growing up. And then I actually have the rookie card in one of my rookie card binders. Sick Roberto Kelly. Matt's favorite player, Brett Beatty. So I'm going to start a huge PC for him. The Civil War era Mitch Williams. That's sick. All these baseball cards. Russ Swan. He looks like he's like in like a 1980s movie or something. Just looks cool. More baseball cards. And more baseball cards. Quentin McCracken, so he's a 2003 Upper Deck that I want to buy one day. Mike Matheny, so he had one, I think it's 2004, 2005 Topps card I really liked as a kid. Couldn't remember what it looked like, and then this is 2002, I believe, so that's cool. Casey Candelli, one of my favorite. This guy looking like a dork. Some more baseball cards. Shocking. Oh, this one's sick. This is Jay Buhner, The Big Show. Matt, you gave me a Jose Canseco from that. Rich Gale. For some reason, I really liked this card. I think when I looked at it, I thought it was going to be a Roger Clemens rookie, but it wasn't. All right, some more pickups. Lika Williams again. That Zach Greinke is sick. I just really like him. I think he's cool and weird and out there. Matt, you traded me this Baby Bull. I think it's Orlando Cepeda, so that's really cool. Babe Ruth, that's a sick card. Doc Gooden, cards your mom threw out. I actually have the rookie card of this, which is one of the first purchases I made getting back into collecting. But that Babe Ruth is sick. Got it for $1 at the first card shop we were at. Mike Piazza. The reason I got that, Matt, is because you sent me a lot, I think earlier in the year, if not last year, and it had a Duck Drabeck from the same set, so that's why. Makes me think of you. Gates Brown, I PC him, as well as this guy, Ezekiel Duran, trying to literally complete his playing days run. I don't know, when I look at him, he literally just looks like a blues musician. I had a phase, where I just went crazy in college about blues music. Like I listened to everything from the 20s all the way up to probably stopped around like the 70s or 80s, and then maybe some 2000s, lesser known. And so I don't know, maybe it's a little odd to say, but when I think of Gates Brown, to me that just seems like a blues name, a blues musician. John Franco rookie, got that for $1. Corey Snyder. Okay, these ones are sick. So these checklists, these are from Matt's binders. Well, I was trying to look at checklists that he had that had Zach Duke on them, so I marked them off in there. And then I got this 2004 Topps from his binder, I believe. And I don't think this has Zach Duke on it, because I think he was in the 05 roster, but his rookie year was 04. Duke Ellis. Again, Duke Energy is one of my clients. Love working with them. They're great clients. Love the work that I do. And, well, you got Duke in the name, so. Brett Beatty, just a monster. Some more checklists with Zach Duke on there. Moving on. Dick Drago, 2 of them. Weird-looking guy. Blue Moon Odom right there. Glenn Braggs, Casey Kendall, and Glenn Braggs. I place those 2 guys, much like Christy Mathewson and Walter Johnson. I think of one, I think of the other, just because they're my 2 favorite junk wax era people to PC for different reasons. Glenn was just, the strength he had was so cool, and then Casey just seemed like a very good guy and hardworking. And again, I could appreciate that. Dickie Thon, had that card growing up. Ed Winston, Steve Balboni. Matt, you might remember what I said about them in the Moments One. More baseball cards. These are all from Matt's binder. Charles Nagy, born in Connecticut, which I thought was cool because that's where I was born. And I remember his USA card was one of the first cards I got from my grandpa. Again, sold that in San Diego, but to find this in Matt's binder was sick. Same with this one, the rookie threats. That's sick too. I think it has Burks. Oh, it says in there. Mike Greenwell, Ellis Burks, and Todd Benzinger. I think that's really cool. Cool. Carter Kaboom, new PC. Ralph Kiner, again, to remind me of one of my dogs growing up, current man wearing, I believe he is Malden, Massachusetts, to remind me of my grandpa. And then Duke Snyder, remind me of Duke Energy in my work. Frank White, Evan White, Matt, I'm sure you know why I collect those. Might be my favorite last name White card, just looks sick as hell. Ellis Burks, Aaron Seeley, Zach Sorensen. So this one and this one came from your binder, Matt. That's so sick. There was actually a guy on Facebook that said, friends you may know, it was this guy, but with a K, so that's cool. And this, I must have PC'd this growing up. Bip Roberts, I just think he's a really cool guy. Carter Kaboom, Matt Holliday. This is from your binder, another Carter. Where are these guys going? What's this dweeb doing? Sick looking card. Dave Bergman looking like a porn star. That one's sick. Matt, I think you thought that I would like this card, so this always makes me think of you. A few Bill Lees. I was trying to loosely collect his playing day run. This one was cool. Matt, I think I got this from your binder. Jay Buhner, rookie card. I think I got this from your binder too. Marty Barrett, miscut. One of my favorite Red Sox players, just because he reminds me of my grandpa. Mike Greenwell at the green background. That's sick. Hudson Street. So a lot of these I pulled in mystery packs looking for Zach Duke, but Zach Duke didn't happen. Some more pickups. Riley Green, Mark Bellhorn, my grandpa's favorite Red Sox player, or at least in 2004, so makes me think of him. A-Rod. I may trade this or sell this. I don't know. I just don't like that card for some reason. I don't know why I bought it. Babe Ruth, that one's sick. Same with this Mike Mussina. So I had this card growing up, but Matt, we were at that store that had like the weird baseball card shop like in the back, and these ladies didn't really know what was going on with that card store, but that's where I picked up all those mid-2000s packs thinking we could get a Zach Duke, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So I don't know, this card just makes me feel weird. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could buy it. It was only like $1, but I'm not sure why it makes me feel weird, just like with this A-Rod. But you know, moving forward, I think I want to collect a little bit differently. So Riley Green, Matt, you gave me this wonder. Again, as Matt says, terrible story, but you know, it's before he and I really got back into collecting, so it just makes me think of like how we were when we first started. This Fred Lynn is sick. I think that's Fred Lynn and Jim Rice. Matt, you traded me that Fred Lynn. Okay, more baseball cards. Oh, that's Satchel Paige right there. I have it flipped over because it's an interesting blurb on the back. And Satchel's sick. Matt Olson, Sean Abner. So I'm really trying to get his rookie card because I ordered it last year and then it just never came. Steve Lombardozzi. Ooh, Mark. I didn't realize I had that card. I must have pulled that. That's sick. Glenn Braggs. I pulled that. I was super excited. Matt, I think you traded me that Reese Hoskins. Corbin Thomas. I mean, damn, dude looks like a trucker. This guy has no chin, but hey, nothing wrong with that. I just think it's cool. So got this at the tuna fish place for $1. It was in a screw down. I was going to keep it in the screw down, but I decided to put it in the PC binder. Bump Willis. I had a few of his cards growing up. I remember, Matt, you and I talked about him a lot just because he has a cool name. Berto Kelly. I think a rookie card. Amazing. Suzuki and another Roberto Kelly rookie card. I didn't realize I got so many Roberto Kellys, but I'm glad I did. This was at the first card shop we went to when you picked me up from the from the airport. Christy Mathewson was my first major PC player, and I got back into collecting because as a kid I wanted to collect them so bad. Got this at the same place for 25 cents. Matt, you and I had some of these cards growing up, and Jack Chesbro was pretty cool. Ralph Kiner, Johnny Vandermeer. Matt, again, you and I had some of the... I definitely had this full set growing up, and we had a handful of these cards. I just thought this was a really cool set. Bill Lee, 71 tops. John Tudor, Cal Ripken, Iron Man. I just think that's cool. And then Nick Johnson. Matt, I'm sure you know who this reminds you of, but that's just cool. Okay, Connor Phillips. I actually went to school with a guy named this, but I don't think that's him. More baseball cards. Oh, I didn't realize I bought this. I thought I didn't. This was at Pioneer Sports Cards, so I was looking for this card for a while. It was in my wish list. Josh Hamilton rookie with Corey Myers. He wasn't necessarily a bust. It's just unfortunate what happened with him. Excuse me, sorry, my phone maybe got a little weird there. Gotta charge my phone soon. But Hamilton, used to PC him growing up. Obviously, now it's odd to PC him, but you know, if he's a piece of shit, you know, I have a piece of shit PC, so maybe I could. And then Corey Myers, he was a bust actually, so I think that's cool to collect him. Matt, you had this set growing up. I don't know if you had this card, though, but it makes me think of you. Don't even know who this guy is. Pedroia. Really want to get the 2007 tops of him. I looked everywhere for that. This was the 2008. Carlos Rodon. One of my first minor PC players, just because he's one of the first cards I got getting back into collecting from eBay, actually. Brett Gardner. Really wanted to PC him. Makes me think of Josh Donaldson. Kevin Moss. What an awesome card. I think that's his rookie, and that's cool that, you know, if I wanted to, I could call him. I just think that's cool. More baseball. So this one's awesome. So one of my favorite players is Mark Fidrich, whose nickname was the Bird. Well, this guy's last name is Bird, and I know this isn't true. It's some blemish. It looks like there's like a chicken that just like rammed into him or something. This thing right here. And I remember pulling this with Matt. He's like, dude, that's a cool card. You got to keep it. Some more baseball cards. Kaz got that for $1. Same with this one. I just think he has a freaking cool signature. I know it's printed, but still cool. PC. Rod Beck, excuse me. Got that from Matt's binder. Looks like a trucker. Doc Gooden, got that from your binder too, Matt. Eric Gagne. So I got this for $1 at Yeah Sports Cards, and I remember on eBay looking for it a few years ago, and I think it was listed as 10, so pretty cool find. Also from Matt's binder, I think, or maybe I pulled it. Don't remember. Mark Teixeira. Quentin McCracken. Ron Coomer. It's all of us, isn't it, at the end of the day? Rocky Biddle. So I wanted to PC him earlier in the year just because his name was cool. So to pull one of his cards is sick. Spencer Howard. For some reason, I have a parallel of this. Not for some reason. I know why. Got it for free on eBay. But for some reason, whenever I see any versions of this, I just want to pick them up. This guy looks intense, as does this guy. I actually got these from the same mystery pack from the Tuna Place. This guy looks like a rock star back in the day. One of the Russell brothers. Bill Mueller. So he was a Red Sox, played in the 04 World Series, and was born on March 17th. Freaking cool. Bert Hooton. So, earlier in the year, I went to my LCS and found one of his cards. Accidentally put it back, just thought I'll get it next time. Never did. I couldn't find it. So that made me want to PC every one of his playing day cards. I know nothing about him, but to be a collector. Jim Morrison from The Doors. Little Brooks Robinson, little Jim Thorpe. Little David Murphy, pulled that myself. Ozzie Guillen, got a couple Ozzie Guillen signed balls. Matt, he always makes me think of you. And even as a teenager, I would display some of those cards because it made me think of you. Matt, you gave this to me for free. Really appreciate it. Dalton Varsho. Gates Brown trying to complete, like I said earlier, his playing day run. I'm very close, actually. Kyle Drabeck, son of Doug Drabeck. Sorry, I'm completely losing my voice, but I'm just having fun. Alex Gordon, could you imagine? So this is the 06, but this is the cards your mom threw out because that 06 Topps is incredibly expensive. Troy Tulowitzki had this card growing up. Matt, you wanted to trade this to me because you thought he just looked like he was high, which I agree with. More baseball cards. Trey Lincecum. Connor Wong, my boy. Who's this? Scott Williams. 04 Red Sox. Trying to loosely. I was going to do all 2004, the whole roster that played 2004 in the World Series and the rookie cards, but I think I just want to collect weird cards that they had for players from the 04 roster. What a weird way of saying I want to collect 04 Red Sox. Just don't know how I want to do that yet. Pulled these myself looking for some legends. I used to love this set. Couldn't find any legends though. Some more baseball cards. I actually love this #1 draft picks. I'm trying to complete the set. Randy Johnson, little Marlboro in the background. Unfortunately, not for this one. Spike Owen. And actually, we have baseball cards on this page. These are all from Matt's binder, I'm pretty sure. Outlighter. I just love that one. That one's cool. Mike Glendening. Very cool. Dennis Oil Can Boyd right there. More cards. Casey Candell. Pat Tabler. Or Tat Padler, as Past Alive would say. This guy's serving. Chad Durman serving cunt. Chuck Knobloch. As of my LCS day, I found his 1990 score, but it's for like $1. That was nothing to buy it for that much. Holy crap. It's Adam Pettyjohn. Boomer Wells. Let's see if I can call it any. These are all from Matt's binder, I'm pretty sure. This Torrey Hunter's sick. Matt, you gave me this Acuna Jr. for free. Appreciate it. Dick Pole. Big Sam Horn. So Dick Pole, Big Sam Horn. Hey, That's what happens when you're 27. Got this at Yaz. Actually, Matt, you traded me your version of this last year. So to find this at Yaz, it was in the same spot as last year. It's numbered out of 500. Cool set. That Ellis Burks. Really hope that's Ellis Burks. I think it is. That looks sick. I like Ellis. Nick Lodolo. Sick card, Matt. You traded me that. Appreciate it. Some of these, this Brian McRae, just this auto is beautiful. But, unfortunately not his real auto, but I like that card. I don't know why Colby Ward isn't here. No idea. Again, got to reorganize. Jason Thompson, there he is. Just not 1976 tops. Ethan Salas. They're not related. I looked it up. I thought they were, because I like having like a father-son or like a familial connection PC. But, was not to be the case. But in my mind, it's like Scott Downs and Kelly Downs. They're not related, but in my mind they are. So these guys are related now. Just how it is here in dual grade world. What a cool name. Interesting signature too, little Reese Hoskins. And then Matt, you told me the story of Tyler O'Neill. I forget what the story was. I should have wrote it on the back, but didn't. Saw this card, but it was the blue or teal variation at my LCS today for $1, but I couldn't remember why I wanted it, but glad I didn't get it because I like this one more. Garrett Crochet, one of Matt's new burgeoning PCs. LaTroy Hawkins. Hawkins. Uh-oh, careful. John Tudor. How many Tudors can we get? John Smiley. He's not even smiling. Mark McGuire. Yeah, some of these I got to remove from here. Dulles Chapman, that's sick. Colt Keith, that's sick. Because on eBay's cars went for hundreds of dollars. Don't even know why. Meth Eyes, Jason Giambi. Matt, I was going to put this in a lot on eBay, but I thought of you saying that I need to keep it. And then this one, this is from your binder. For some reason, I'm just so interested in this card. I don't know why. I have no idea who Tommy Harper is, but it just looks like a cool baseball card. Little Davis Schneider. Picked this up at Pioneer for $5. I may or may not be telling the truth. Or Matt may have traded it to me. Well, Ty France. I need Ty America. Some of these. And then we got the Conlon collection. I got the full set. I think it's 1991. Had this as a kid. And so fun going through it and picking some of my favorite cards that I had growing up from that set. So this Babe Ruth immediately makes me think of my grandpa. As does Gabby Hartnett, because their last names were Hartnett. So I PC Gabby Hartnett for my grandparents who passed away. Bill Lee, father of Bill Lee, potentially. Little Christie, Nap action. Joe Cronin. Looks like a movie star in this picture. I don't know, he just does. Little Honest Wagner. And as a kid, I used to say, Honest Wagner. I wasn't sure. Melot looking silly as hell. Yep, so all the ones on here, this Red Faber really speaks to me because I had this card growing up and I just remember his face was just very intense and I just always remembered that. Same with the Spud Chandler because my grandpa gave me a 20 or 27 time Yankee World Series poster, and I always as a kid wanted to have every one of their cards, basically. Anyone that was on that poster, I want to have their cards, which I've now completed actually, just looking at that earlier. Ed Walsh had a very low ERA. And we just got some more here. Nice Walter Johnson, nice Rube Liddell, and Nolan Ryan. Chief Bender. And to end off, we can end with the man himself. I pulled that out of the few packs I got at one of the card stores. All right, everyone. I.e. Matt, specifically. That was my 2025 Cooperstown recap. Clocking in at under 50 minutes. Shocking. I thought this was going to go for an hour. I am going to reorganize. So, Matt, I just wanted to show you what this looked like before I did that. And so I could have a video of it in case I ever want to organize the same way again. All right. Peace.